I always thought I understood my daughter better than anyone else in the world. After all, for 7 years it had just been the two of us, me and little Amara, sharing quiet breakfasts, bedtime stories, and the unspoken bond of two people learning to rebuild after a painful divorce. When I married Sarah 2 years ago, I believed wholeheartedly that I was giving Amara another chance at a loving, stable family. I saw how gentle Sarah was with her, how she tied her shoelaces, how she braided her hair on school mornings, how she sat through every school play and cheered louder than anyone. I thought things were perfect. I thought Amara felt safe. I thought she was happy, but I was wrong, painfully, blindly wrong. And it took just one whispered sentence to shake the ground beneath my feet. It happened on an ordinary Thursday evening. I picked Amara up from her after-school art club. She hugged me tightly, lingering longer than usual. And as she pulled away, I noticed her eyes shimmered with a nervous shine I had never seen before. I brushed it off as school stress or a rough day. In the car, she stared out the window while absent-mindedly twisting the bracelet Sarah had made for her last month. I tried to lighten the mood with jokes, but she only gave half-hearted smiles. When we got home, dinner was already on the table: creamy pasta, garlic bread, and a salad on the side. Exactly how she liked it, yet she barely touched her plate. Sarah kept asking, "Everything okay, sweetheart?" And Amara kept replying yes, but her voice trembled. That tremble wouldn't leave my mind. Later that night, after Sarah went to take a shower, I walked into Amara's room to say goodnight. She was sitting cross-legged on her bed, hugging her giraffe plushie, the one she only clung to when something was seriously wrong. I sat beside her. She glanced at the door, checking that no one was there, then leaned close to my ear and whispered the sentence that shattered me. "Dad, please don't make me stay alone with her anymore." My whole body froze. Confusion, fear, disbelief all at once. My thoughts raced to every dark possibility a parent dreads. I pulled her closer, my heartbeat thundering. "Why, sweetheart? Did she hurt you? Did she yell at you? You can tell me anything." She swallowed nervously. Her fingers fidgeted. For a moment she looked like she might back out. But then her tiny voice broke through. "Not hurt, but she cries every day, and she tries to hide it. And she tells me not to worry you because you're busy." "But Dad, I am worried. I don't want her to cry alone anymore." Stared at her, stunned. I had expected something terrifying, but I hadn't expected this: a quiet confession soaked in worry, confusion, and the innocence of a child who didn't know how to carry someone else's pain. "She cries?" I repeated. "When?" Amara nodded. "In the laundry room, in the car after school, sometimes in the shower. And she always says she's fine, but she's not. I know she's not." I didn't know what to say. My chest tightened. For months, I had been working late hours, taking more weekend shifts, telling myself that I was doing it for our future. I thought I was being a good provider. I didn't realize I was becoming a distant husband. I didn't realize Sarah had been drowning silently while smiling through it all. And worst of all, I didn't realize my daughter had been the one witnessing it. That night, long after Amara fell asleep, I sat alone in the living room thinking about every smile Sarah had given me lately, stretched too thin, dimmer than before. I remembered the times she tried to tell me she felt overwhelmed, but I brushed it off, saying, "It's just a phase. We'll get through it." I didn't know that while I was busy handling responsibilities, she was carrying emotional ones heavier than anything I faced at work. When she came downstairs later, her hair still damp, she greeted me softly. "You're still awake?" she asked. She looked exhausted, but she smiled anyway, that same forced, polite smile that suddenly made my heart ache. "Can we talk?" I whispered. Her eyes widened just a little. She nodded. We sat on the couch quietly at first. Then I said, "Amara told me something today, something important." Sarah's breath hitched almost imperceptibly. "She said she sees you cry a lot." The moment the words left my mouth, she broke. Her composure cracked like thin glass. She covered her face with her hands and sobbed, not loud, dramatic sobs, but the kind that come from someone who's been holding everything in for too long. "I'm sorry," she choked out. "I didn't want you to worry. You work so hard. I didn't want to be another burden." I moved closer and pulled her into my arms. "You're not a burden," I whispered. "God, How could you ever think that? What came next was a flood of confessions. She admitted she felt alone when I wasn't home. She felt like she was constantly walking on eggshells trying to be the perfect stepmom. Terrified of disappointing me or Amara, she felt guilty whenever she struggled because she didn't want to replace Amara's biological mother or step on boundaries. She felt overwhelmed, exhausted, and afraid to ask for help because she didn't want to seem weak. I realized then that the woman I loved had been silently breaking, and my daughter, intuitive and gentle, had been watching her crumble piece by piece. That night changed everything. The next morning, before waking Amara for school, I made breakfast, real breakfast, pancakes from scratch, fruit slices, the whole deal. We sat together and talked about starting therapy, taking more family days, cutting back my overtime, and building routines that didn't leave any of us emotionally stranded. But the most powerful moment happened when Amara walked into the kitchen, still sleepy, still holding her giraffe plushie. Sarah knelt down, opened her arms, and whispered through tears, "I'm sorry you saw me sad. Sweetheart, I didn't want you to carry that." Amara hugged her neck tightly. "I just didn't want you to cry alone," she said. And something about that small, honest sentence brought us all together in a way we had never been before. We changed our lives after that, intentionally, gently, consistently. We had movie nights every Friday. We ate dinner together without phones. I started coming home earlier. Sarah joined a support group for step-parents. Amara started therapy to unpack the emotional worry she had carried. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, something beautiful grew between the three of us. Trust, openness, a real sense of family that wasn't about perfection but about presence. It's been a year since that whispered sentence turned our world upside down. And now, when I look at Sarah and Amara baking together, laughing in the kitchen, or curled up on the couch sharing a blanket during movie night, I realize something. Families don't fall apart because of big disasters. They fall apart because of small, silent pains left unattended. And families don't heal through miracles, they heal through listening. If my daughter hadn't whispered those 8 words, I might still be blind. And if my wife hadn't broken down in my arms, I might never have understood how much she needed me. That one quiet sentence saved us. And it changed everything. That whispered sentence from my daughter changed more than just one night. It transformed our entire family. It opened my eyes to the quiet pain I had overlooked, the burden my wife carried alone, and the emotional weight my daughter had been holding in her small heart. It forced me to slow down, to listen, to show up in ways I hadn't realized were missing. In the months that followed, healing didn't come all at once. It came through small steps, honest conversations, shared meals, earlier evenings at home, and gentle reassurance on the hard days. Slowly, the walls between us softened. My daughter no longer feared being alone with her stepmother. Instead, she grew closer to her. And my wife, once silently drowning, learned she didn't have to hide her pain to protect me. But the greatest change happened within me. I understood that love isn't measured by what we provide, but by how present we are. Families don't break from storms, they break from silence. And sometimes it takes the softest voice to reveal the deepest truth. My daughter's whisper didn't just save our home. It taught us how to truly see one another, how to listen, how to heal. And it reminded me that the most powerful changes often begin with a single, fragile sentence spoken in courage.